My name is Margaret Rose Collins. I'm 83 years old, and I'm dying in this hospital room. But that's not the real tragedy here. The real tragedy is that my daughter Sarah hasn't forgiven me for 40 years, and now it's too late. The doctors say it's stage 4 lung cancer. Spread to my bones, my liver, everywhere. They've stopped the treatments. There's nothing left to do but wait. But all this pain, all this suffering, it's nothing compared to the ache in my heart from losing Sarah. Look at this photograph in my hands. This was us in 1982. Sarah was 7 years old. I was 36. We were happy then. I was a real mother then. But then everything fell apart, and I made the worst decision of my life. I don't know if anyone will ever hear this recording. Maybe Sarah will find it after I'm gone and finally understand. Maybe she'll never want to know the truth, but I need to tell someone before I die, because this secret has been eating me alive for 4 decades. It was March 15th, 1983. I'll never forget that date. It's burned into my soul like a brand. My husband David collapsed at work from a massive heart attack. He was only 38 years old, strong as an ox, never had health problems in his life. I got the call at 2:30 in the afternoon. Mrs. Collins, you need to come to St. Mary's Hospital immediately. I remember running through those hospital corridors, my heels clicking on the linoleum floor, praying to God that David would be okay. But when I saw the doctor's face, I knew. I knew before he even said the words. I'm sorry, Mrs. Collins. We did everything we could. Sarah was at school when it happened. Sweet little Sarah with her pigtails and her gap-toothed smile, coming home excited to show me her art project. How do you tell an 8-year-old that her daddy is never coming home? Where's daddy? She asked when I picked her up from school, her little face pressed against the car window, looking for David's truck in our driveway. Honey, we need to talk, I said, my voice breaking. Daddy's with the angels now. She didn't understand at first. She kept asking when he was coming back, kept setting a place for him at dinner, kept waiting by the window for his headlights to pull into our driveway. That's when my world started crumbling. After David died, I couldn't function. I tried, God knows I tried, but the grief was like quicksand, pulling me deeper every day. I'd lost my partner, my best friend, the love of my life. We'd been together since high school, married for 12 years, and suddenly I was alone with a little girl who needed her mother to be strong. But I wasn't strong. I was broken. I started drinking just a little wine at night to help me sleep, I told myself. Then it was wine with lunch. Then it was vodka in my morning coffee to stop my hands from shaking. Sarah would find me passed out on the couch in the afternoons, still in my nightgown, surrounded by empty bottles. Mommy, are you sick? She'd ask, trying to wake me up with her tiny hands on my face. Just tired, baby, I'd mumble, hating myself for the lie, hating myself for what I was becoming. The bills started piling up. David had been the breadwinner. I'd worked part-time at the local library, but it wasn't nearly enough to cover the mortgage, the utilities, Sarah's school expenses. The life insurance helped for a few months, but I was spending money we didn't have, trying to maintain some semblance of normalcy for Sarah. By Christmas of 1983, we'd lost the house. Sarah and I moved into a tiny apartment on the wrong side of town. The kind of place where police sirens wailed all night and drug deals happened in the parking lot. I don't like it here, Mommy, Sarah whispered one night, crawling into my bed after hearing gunshots outside our window. Can we go home now? This is home now, sweetheart, I said, holding her close and trying not to let her see my tears. We'll make it work. But I wasn't making anything work. I was falling apart, and Sarah was falling apart with me. By 1984, I was drinking a bottle of vodka a day. I'd lost my job at the library, too many missed days, too many times showing up drunk. Sarah was 9 years old and basically raising herself. She'd make her own breakfast, walk herself to school, come home to find me unconscious on the floor. I remember one particularly bad night, Sarah's 9th birthday. Actually, I'd promised to take her to Chuck E. Cheese, promised to make it special. Instead, I got blackout drunk and forgot completely. She found me at midnight, sprawled across the kitchen table with vomit in my hair. She was holding the birthday cake she'd tried to make herself, a lopsided chocolate disaster with 9 crooked candles. "I made my own birthday cake, Mommy," she said, her voice so small, so resigned. "I put 9 candles on it like you taught me." That image, my beautiful little girl celebrating her 9th birthday alone while her mother lay unconscious in her own vomit, that's when I knew I'd hit rock bottom. But instead of climbing out, I kept digging. The calls from school started coming regularly. Sarah was falling behind in her classes, falling asleep at her desk, coming to school in dirty clothes. The other kids were starting to bully her, calling her names, making fun of her situation. Mrs. Collins, her teacher, called one afternoon. "Sarah told us she's been making dinner for herself every night. She also mentioned that you've been unwell lately. Is everything all right at home?" Everything was not all right. Nothing had been all right for over a year. That's when Child Protective Services got involved. It was a Tuesday morning in October 1984. Sarah was at school, and I was nursing my 3rd vodka of the day when there was a knock at the door. I thought it was the landlord coming for the rent money I didn't have. Instead, it was a social worker named Janet Murphy, a stern woman in her 50s with kind eyes and a clipboard full of paperwork. "Mrs. Collins, I'm here about Sarah," she said, pushing past me into our filthy apartment. I watched her eyes take in the empty bottles scattered everywhere, the moldy dishes in the sink, the pile of unpaid bills on the counter. "What about Sarah?" I slurred, trying to act sober but fooling no one. "Mrs. Collins, when was the last time you went grocery shopping? When was the last time Sarah had a proper meal that wasn't from a vending machine?" I couldn't answer. I couldn't remember. Janet walked through our apartment, documenting everything with her camera. The empty refrigerator, the overflowing trash can, Sarah's bedroom, which she'd tried so hard to keep clean and organized, despite everything falling apart around her. "Sarah's teachers are concerned," Janet continued. "She's been falling asleep in class, her grades are slipping, and yesterday she fainted during gym. When was the last time she saw a doctor?" I couldn't remember that either. "Mrs. Collins, I need you to understand the severity of this situation. Sarah is a beautiful, intelligent little girl who deserves better than this. She needs stability, proper nutrition, medical care, and a sober guardian. I'm her mother," I whispered, the words feeling hollow even as I said them. "Being a mother is more than biology," Janet replied gently. "It's about providing care, safety, and love. Right now, Sarah is providing more care for you than you are for her." She was right, and we both knew it. Janet gave me 30 days to get clean, get a job, and prove I could take care of Sarah properly. 30 days to undo 2 years of damage, 30 days to become the mother Sarah deserved. I tried. I really tried. I checked myself into a detox program, went to AA meetings, applied for jobs, but the withdrawal was hell. And every time I looked at Sarah, really looked at her, I saw what I'd done to her. She was so thin, so tired, so much older than her 10 years. She'd learned not to ask for things because she knew I couldn't provide them. She'd learned not to bring friends over because she was ashamed of how we lived. She'd learned to take care of herself because her mother couldn't. "Are you getting better, Mommy?" she asked me one night as I was shaking through withdrawal, sweat pouring down my face. "I'm trying, baby. I'm really trying." But trying wasn't enough. 3 weeks into my 30 days, I relapsed. Hard, I drank an entire bottle of gin and ended up in the emergency room with alcohol poisoning. Sarah found me unconscious on the bathroom floor, blue around the lips, barely breathing. That 10-year-old girl called 911 herself. She rode with me in the ambulance, holding my hand, telling me it would be okay. She was comforting me when it should have been the other way around. When I woke up in the hospital, Janet was there waiting. "Mrs. Collins, this can't continue. Sarah deserves better than this cycle of hope and disappointment. I've found a wonderful family who wants to adopt her, the Hendersons. They're good people with a stable home, and they'll give Sarah everything she needs. You can't take my baby," I sobbed. "Please, I'll do better. I promise I'll do better." You've had 2 years to do better, Janet said firmly. How many more chances should Sarah have to watch her mother almost die? How many more nights should she go to bed wondering if you'll be alive in the morning? The adoption proceedings moved quickly. The Hendersons were indeed wonderful people. Tom was a high school principal. Linda was a nurse. They had a beautiful house in a safe neighborhood with good schools. They could give Sarah everything I couldn't: stability, security, a future. I was allowed supervised visits twice a week while the paperwork was being finalized. Sarah would sit across from me in that sterile conference room at the social services office, and we'd try to pretend everything was normal. The Hendersons' house has a pool, she told me during one visit, trying to sound excited, but I could see the confusion in her eyes. And they said I can have a puppy if I want. That sounds wonderful, sweetheart, I managed to say, though the words felt like broken glass in my throat. But when am I coming home, Mommy? When will you be all better? I couldn't answer her. How do you explain to a 10-year-old that sometimes love means letting go? How do you make her understand that I was giving her away because I loved her, not because I didn't? The final court hearing was on December 12, 1984. I'll never forget sitting in that courtroom, watching the judge sign the papers that would legally make Sarah someone else's daughter. Mrs. Collins, the judge said to me, "Do you understand that by signing these documents, you are permanently terminating your parental rights to Sarah Elizabeth Collins?" "Yes, Your Honor," I whispered. "And you understand that once this adoption is finalized, you will have no legal right to contact Sarah unless the adoptive parents consent?" "Yes, Your Honor." Sarah was sitting with the Hendersons, looking so small between these two strangers who were about to become her parents. She kept looking back at me, her face a mixture of confusion and betrayal. When it was over, I was allowed one last moment with her. "Sarah, sweetheart," I knelt down to her level, trying to memorize every detail of her beautiful face. "I want you to know that Mommy loves you more than anything in the whole world." "Then why are you leaving me?" she asked, tears streaming down her cheeks. "Because sometimes when you love someone, you have to let them have a better life than you can give them. The Hendersons will take good care of you. They'll give you everything you deserve. But I want you, Mommy. I don't want them. I want you." That was the moment my heart completely shattered. This innocent child, who had already lost her father, was now losing her mother too. And it was all my fault. "I'm sorry, baby girl. I'm so sorry for everything." Linda Henderson gently took Sarah's hand. "Come on, sweetheart, let's go home." As they walked away, Sarah turned back one last time. "Will I ever see you again, Mommy?" "I don't know, baby. But I'll never stop loving you." Those were the last words I ever spoke to my daughter. The Hendersons changed Sarah's name to Sarah Henderson and moved across the country to Oregon. They wanted a clean break, a fresh start for her. I understood, but it meant I could never find her, never know how she was doing. I got sober after that, really sober this time. The pain of losing Sarah was worse than any withdrawal I'd ever experienced, but it also gave me clarity. I'd destroyed the most precious thing in my life because of alcohol, and I was never going to let that happen again. I moved to a different state, got a job as a cleaning lady, and tried to build some kind of life. But every day was empty without Sarah. Every birthday, every Christmas, every milestone she was reaching without me. When she turned 16, I sent a card to the address I had from the adoption agency. It came back marked return to sender, addressee unknown. I tried again, at 18, at 21, at 25. Every card came back unopened. I hired private investigators over the years, trying to find her. I learned that she'd graduated valedictorian from her high school, got a full scholarship to college, became a pediatric nurse like her adoptive mother. She married a man named David, the same name as her biological father, and had 3 children. My grandchildren, 3 grandchildren I'd never met, would never know. I found her address about 10 years ago and started sending letters, birthday cards, Christmas cards, just hoping she might read one and understand that I never stopped loving her. But they all came back unopened, marked return to sender. She didn't want anything to do with me, and I couldn't blame her. Now I'm here in this hospital room, dying alone, and my greatest regret isn't the drinking or the poor choices. It's that I never got to explain to Sarah why I made the decision I did. I never got to tell her how much I loved her, how proud I am of the woman she became, how sorry I am for failing her when she needed me most. The nurses here are kind. They know I don't have any family coming to visit. They know I'm dying alone. But what they don't know is that I have a daughter who's alive and well, living just 200 miles from here, who hates me too much to say goodbye. Yesterday, I gave my nurse Sarah's phone number. I begged her to call, to tell Sarah that her mother was dying and wanted to see her one last time. She said she has no mother. The nurse told me gently when she came back. She said her mother died a long time ago. In a way, she's right. The mother she knew, the drunk, broken woman who couldn't take care of her, did die a long time ago. But the woman who loved her, who gave birth to her, who made the hardest decision in the world because she loved her, that woman is here, dying, wanting nothing more than to see her daughter's face one more time. If somehow Sarah ever hears this, I want her to know, I never stopped loving you. Not for one single day in 40 years. I know I failed you when you were little. I know I hurt you. I know I let you down in the worst possible way. But giving you to the Hendersons wasn't about not wanting you. It was about wanting you to have everything I couldn't give you. A stable home, parents who could take care of you properly, a future full of possibilities. You became everything I dreamed you would become. You're a nurse, helping children, healing people. You have a beautiful family. You succeeded in life despite having me as your biological mother. I'm proud of you, Sarah. I'm proud of the woman you became, the mother you are, the life you built. I may not have been there to see it, but I've watched from afar, and you exceeded every hope I ever had for you. I know you can't forgive me, and I understand why. But please know that you were loved. You were so deeply loved by a mother who was too broken to show it properly. The yellow baby blanket in the drawer next to my bed, that's yours. It's the blanket I brought you home from the hospital in, the one I kept all these years. Maybe someday you'll want something to remember that. Despite everything, you were wanted, you were loved, and you were the best thing I ever did in my life. Sarah, baby girl, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for everything. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive your old mama someday. I hope you know that letting you go was the hardest thing I ever did, but it was also the most loving thing I could do for you. I'll be watching over you from heaven, sweetheart. I'll finally get to meet my grandchildren, and I'll tell them about their grandmother who loved them from afar. I'll wait for you there, for as long as it takes, because a mother's love never dies, never dies.